JechtSpencer.com, and today what I wanted to talk to you about was adversity and being able to battle through tough times. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this particular topic today was because as early as yesterday, I found out that a very large sum of money that I was going to be receiving, I am no longer going to be receiving. And I really had planned my life accordingly to receiving this money over the past 5 years. And this money would have drastically changed my lifestyle, changed the way I live my life, changed the people that I surrounded myself with. I would have been able to travel all over the world, go to some of the world's greatest film schools, and surround myself with some of the world's greatest mentors. And all of that has come to a screeching halt. But you're probably asking yourself, how does this help me? And you didn't necessarily have to receive a large sum of money. Maybe something else happened in your life. Maybe your spouse left you. Maybe you were in a car crash. Maybe a family member died. Maybe something truly tragic happened to you. And you feel like your entire world is being spun upside down. And yesterday, the way I felt was that I was a victim. You know, I started playing the blame game. I started getting mad. I started getting angry at the world. I started getting attacking in just everything and everyone around me. And what I realized was that I had entered a lower level of consciousness. And I don't want that for anybody else. And I understand the coping mechanism, you know, especially if you're in a car crash or you're healing or you lost a family member or spouse. I totally understand that. I'm not saying you shouldn't go through that. But what I am saying is that living a life where you are a perpetual victim is not going to help you grow. It's not going to move you forward. It's not going to make your life any better. So what I thought I would do is write down the 3 frame of references and the 3 frames of mind that I'm going to be instilling in myself in order to move forward in my own life. Hopefully you can take that for yourself, use it in your own life, and ultimately grow yourself. So let's get into the 3. Number 1, everything happens for a reason. And this is probably the hardest one for people to wrap their heads around because, you know, you get in a car crash, you lose a spouse, you lose a family member. It's like, what would be the possible fucking reason? Like, what possible reason could anyone get from those scenarios? You know, you lose a large sum of money, it's suddenly gone, you lose your business, everything's tragic, everything's hell. Maybe you're bankrupt, maybe you're in jail, maybe you're addicted to drugs, whatever. How is there a reason for this? And you have to think of it as a learning experience. Everything is a learning experience. Everything that you attract into your life is ultimately a learning experience. It's a way for you to grow. And it might not seem that way. And it might not even actually be that way. I'm not even saying that's the actual way it is. You know, some things in life are truly tragic. Some things that happen to you are super fucked up. You know, you've been fucking raped or sexually molested or you know, you watch somebody die in front of your very fucking eyes. I mean, there's some fucked up shit in this world. I'm not saying there isn't. But what I am saying is that there's a way of viewing things that is conducive for growth, and then there's a way of being a perpetual victim. And you can be the victim. You can play the victim. You can sit in that energy. You can be sad. You can be melancholic. You can feel shitty about yourself. But at the end of the day, what does that really do for you? You end up a victim. You end up living a life that you never really wanted, and then you end up in some nursing home, sad, decrepit, and just looking back, filled with distress, filled with angst, filled with so much regret about what you wanted to do, but you never did. Number 2, someone a lot less capable than you has made it to the other side. There have been so many people in life that have gone through so much more adversity than you're probably going through right now. And I know through your own subjective experience, everything feels like it's on 1,000, and you might even feel like you're on fire. But if you're able to really just take yourself out of the equation and look at it from an objective standpoint, from a scientific standpoint, there have been people before you that have gone through so much fucking bullshit that have ended up being extremely successful in their own lives. You look at guys like 50 Cent, you look at guys like Einstein, who was working in a post office a majority of his life. You look at guys like Sam Walton, founder of Walmart. People like Jeff Bezos. I mean, a lot of these guys went through massive amounts of adversity and came on the other side complete and masters of success. And I'm not saying you have to be the next millionaire or movie god or rock star. Maybe you just want a job where you got a cool 100 G's every year, or you want your own house, or you want your own family. Whatever it is that you want, it's capable. This part of your life is just a blip in a very, very large span. And it might be something that really fucked you up. You might have to battle, you might have to hustle, you might have to go to war every single day and work that much harder. But it's through that pain, it's through that adversity, it's through pushing yourself through these, this turmoil and this traumatic event that you're going through that ultimately is going to drive your own success and really just fuel what you're capable of later down the line. Because if it's something really shitty that you're going through right now, and it just feels like everyone's against you, and you battle through it and you win, the next time something comes up, you're like, oh man, this is fucking easy. I've done this before. I've been through worse and I've came out on the other side, no problem. And number 3, and this is actually a quote by Marcus Aurelius: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find your strength. The reality is that the only thing that you can control is your actions and your mind. Everything else is everyone else's problem. You can't control that. You can't control their people. You can't control their actions. You can't control the weather. You can't control any of that fucking bullshit. The only thing that you can control is the things that you are actively doing and the things that you are actively thinking. That's the only thing that's actually in your control. So why not create it so that it's conducive for growth, conducive for moving forward, conducive for pushing through these tough times? Because it's ultimately what you focus on, what your reticular activation system is really polarized to, that you're going to attract into your own life. If you keep seeing yourself as a victim, if you keep seeing yourself as somebody who's being held down by the man, if you keep seeing yourself as somebody who's constantly being kicked down by other people, you are going to keep inviting those type of scenarios into your life until you learn from the process and then move forward into a more conducive and happy mind state. That's it. Those are the big 3 that I can think of right now. If you have any more that you want to add, throw them in the comment section below. Like I said before, I know you might be going through some fucking bullshit right now. Believe me, it's not that I'm not angsty, I'm not pissed off and I want to just punch somebody, but I know that's not ultimately going to help me get any closer to where I want to go. So take some of these things that I brought up today, use them in your own life, and fuel your own growth to be the best possible version of yourself. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe, like, and or comment. And as always, good fortune to you, my friend. You do have control of one thing: yourself, how you think, and the actions you take to change your life.